And in doing so, take destiny in his hands. She keeps saying, you got to take destiny in your own hands. Now, there's a line right before Macbeth responds to his wife where she basically says, the cat would eat fish, but she will not wet her feet. That's what she says to her husband. The cat wants a fish, but it doesn't want to get its feet wet. So what she's basically saying, she's calling her husband a pussy. Right? She's both calling him a cat, but she's also saying, like a cat, you don't want to get your feet wet. You want what's in the river, but you don't want to get your feet wet. So she's calling her husband a wimp, but she's also, by calling him a pussy, she's questioning his manhood. Right? She's really saying, you're like a female cat. So he responds, he says, please, please. He says, I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none. This line it took my brain a few seconds after first reading this line. But here's what I think he's saying. I'm going to walk through it and kind of like take it apart real quick and then tell you what I think he's saying. I dare. So the first thing I thought is like, what does it mean to dare? And so what I wrote is to risk, to go beyond the boundaries, to really put yourself out there, right? If you're dared to do something, it means you're kind of putting yourself out there. To do all. All is everything, right? I dare do all that may become a man. So I'm saying he recognizes his masculinity is on the line. He also implies, now this is interesting, and this is the part I still don't totally get. He says, he can't do more than a man should do. And I don't really know what that means yet. He can't do more than a man should do. And then he says, who dares do more is none. And so my question was like, at what point have you done more than a man should do? At what point are you no longer a man because you've done too much? So that's the question I have for the text. And then this idea of none. Macbeth is saying if he follows through, if he does something he shouldn't do, he risks actually becoming something that's not a man anymore. So I don't know if that's a woman, I don't know if that's something that's on sex, meaning it has no sex. I'm not sure yet. But my conclusion is that Macbeth worries that part of what's at risk is his manhood. If he kills the king, his manhood is at risk in some way. As he creates this list in the scene, we're going to look at pros and cons for whether or not he should kill the king. This idea of losing his manhood definitely falls in the con pile. So this is my close reading of this line. And this is what you're going to try and do now. We're going to spend maybe 10, 15 minutes doing this. So with your group, you're going to think, what's the context? What's happening at this point? You're going to just kind of draw lines around the words. Take it apart. Analyze it. And then at the end, give me a little conclusion. What does this mean? Why is this line important? What does it tell you about the character?